Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalah wassalam ala Rasulil Kareem wa ala ahlihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ahum ila yawmiddin. My bad. So we continue from Suratul Hadid, the iron. Here we go.
Some forms of charity arrive quietly, but Allah allows the reward to keep flowing. A hand pump becomes part.
Okay, then.
من ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا فيضاعفه له وله أجر كريم.
Who is it that would loan Allah a goodly loan, so He will multiply it for him, and he will have a noble reward?
يوم ترى المؤمنين والمؤمنات يسعى نورهم بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم بشراكم اليوم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ذلك هو الفوز العظيم.
On the day you see the believing men and believing women, their light proceeding before them, and on their right, it will be said, your good tidings today are of gardens beneath which rivers flow, wherein you will abide eternally. That is what is the great attainment.
يوم يقول المنافقون والمنافقات للذين آمنوا انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم قيل ارجعوا وراءكم فالتمسوا نورا فضرب بينهم بسور له باب باطنه فيه الرحمة وظاهره من قبله العذاب.
On the same day, the hypocrite men and hypocrite women will say to those who believed, wait for us, that we may acquire some of your light. It will be said, go back behind you and seek light, and a wall will be placed between them with a door, its interior containing mercy, but on the outside of it is torment.
ينادونهم ألم نكن معكم قالوا بلى ولكنكم فتنتم أنفسكم وتربصتم وارتبتم وغرتكم الأماني حتى جاء أمر الله وغركم بالله الغرور.
The hypocrites will call to the believers, were we not with you? They will say, yes, but you afflicted yourselves and awaited misfortune for us and doubted. And wishful thinking deluded you until there came the command of Allah. And the deceiver deceived you concerning Allah.
فَالْيَوْمَ لَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْكُمْ فِدْيَةٌ وَلَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مَأْوَاكُمُ النَّارُ هِيَ مَوْلَاكُمْ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ.
So today no ransom will be taken from you or from those who disbelieved. Your refuge is the fire. It is most worthy of you, and wretched is the destination.
Okay. So we continue the discourse in Surah Hadid. Also a very interesting surah. And it recognizes what is important about this surah is that it mentions the struggle of the people who went before. Because in most human endeavors, right, they always forget the people who went before. New people come and they feel like that when Islam now start because they are on they are here. It's just a lot of self-importance, right? They don't recognize the struggles of those who went before. You know, there's an old African saying that, you know, we stand on the shoulders of the elders, those who went before. And if we don't have that humility and that attitude, right, every generation will be recreating the wheel. Okay? Recreating the wheel. Here I say recreating the wheel. When they are supposed to be improving the wheel is already created. So what they need to do is every generation, you improve. You improve on the struggles of the people who went before. You just don't dismiss it. And there are only problems. But Allah said that, but in Allah's sight, those who went before and those who struggle before the success, they are ranks. Just as the companions who went before us, they have rank above us. So who is me and you to condemn, you know, these people? Okay, they were men like us and they made mistakes, yes. We're not saying no differently. But they were not so wretched that they were outside of Islam. And this is something that this issue is what has divided the Muslim community from its inception. You had a group of people called the Khawarij, those who went out. Went out from what? They went out from the Jama'ah, the community. The community of the Prophet was called the Jama'ah. So they went out, and their view is that anybody who sinned, right? Anybody who sinned, they should not be, in fact, they should be killed, or they lost the deen, or something crazy like that. And they caused a lot of havoc. They killed a lot of Sahabas because they were so self-righteous. Okay, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar, I can't recall right now. One of the Abdullahs was sent to the camp by Ali to talk to these people. He said before he reached the camp, he heard the Quran being recited like a bee, like the buzzing of a bee, bzz, like the reciting Quran. And he said when he see them pray, he think like he never prayed in life before. Like he said, and there's a companion. He said when he see them fellas pray, he said, boy, like me, I pray at all, And that what the Quran say, that what the Prophet Islam say, that these people, they recite the Quran beautifully, but it will not pass the truth. It has no effect on their heart. And that is why these new people who inherit, and that Khawarij spirit has come right down in Islam. Mm-hmm. And you see it a lot in the Salafi movement because of its connection to Arabia, and that tendency has come right down. But it's not that tendency only found among the Salafis. It's a tendency that found among different people. But like in the Salafis, it comes to describe them, and they reckon the meaning and the prestige of the word Salaf. Let's say those who went before, these are people who, we emulate, and these are people who we follow. Some man will not jump off out of the streets calling himself Salaf, and next thing he denigrating the name of those people that went before. Anyhow, so Allah says, who it is that will lend Allah a goodly loan? Okay, who it is that will lend Allah a goodly loan? No, Allah is in no need of any money. But this is fi sabilillah, on the part of Allah. This is what is meant. Who will spend his money on the way of Allah? Who will spend his money to bring Islam into the homes of those who don't know Islam, who will spend their money to strengthen the Islamic wave, the Islamic movement. And it is called a goodly loan. Why? Because it's a loan to Allah. So when you spend on the struggle, and when you spend on the activities of the Jamaat and the activities of the Muslim community, what actually you are doing, okay, is loaning to Allah a goodly loan, and you know Allah will pay you back. Allah will pay you back. And Allah says a goodly loan, okay, and it is good because it is spent on the part of the money will be spent on the part of Allah, so that He may multiply it. Okay, so that Allah will multiply this. Imagine that you loan Him and He will multiply it. You multiply it for Him from 10. Jalalain said from 10-fold up to more than 700 folds. This is how Allah will multiply. And why did He say that? He said in Surah Baqarah, Surah 2, Ayat 261. Write that down in Surah 2, Ayat 261. Right? This is where Allah talk about how He multiplied the loan. You will see it there. And so that there may be for him a generous reward. So in addition to your money being multiplied as described in Surah 2, verse 261, right? We all talk about the money being multiplied. Allah said on top of that, He will multiply, He will add to that what He has multiplied. Right? So in addition to what He has multiplied, He will reward you above that. And that reward is a generous reward. Why? Because you will be satisfied with it and you will prosper, which means you will enter the Jannah. Okay? So imagine that your loan is double and triple, sevenfold and all these different things. And on top of that, He add extra. And on top of that, a reward that will please you. All of these things I mentioned to encourage people to spend in the way of Allah. And don't think that, boy, my money gone and your money are gone. Right? You will see it. The day when you will see the believing men and the believing women with their light shining forth before them. Right? So Allah told the Prophet to mention that the believing men and the believing women, you will see them moving with lights shining before them. You know when a car coming on the road and you see the bright light coming, it will be 10 times like that. And when the car pass, hey, Dai Abdullah, hey, Dai Fatima, hey, Dai Musa, hey, and they're moving with bright lights before them. And on their right, so while they're passing, and this light will be before them, and it will also be on their right. Okay? So that the big light in front, and then another light at the side. It will be said to them, good tidings for you on this day. Gardens underneath which rivers flow, wherein you will abide. That is the great success. So whoever angelic being or whoever is saying this, we don't have much information, but this is what will be said to them. Good tidings, greetings for you on this day. gardens underneath which rivers flow, wherein you will stay forever. That is the great success. That is the great success. So you want to talk about succeeding? Well, that is the great success. That to achieve that, to achieve that in the struggle, after being weary and dealing with people with some of them with good habits, some of them with bad habits, right? And the whole up and down of the struggle and the tiredness and the disappointment and the happiness, it goes like a boat, it goes like a wave, sometime up, sometime down. That when you come, Allah will give you this light, and the people who are there will be telling you, whoever people are, either angels or the people of paradise or those who went before you, or we're not sure, but it'll be said to you, good tidings to you. They'll greet you, good tidings, appreciation for you on this day, gardens underneath which rivers flow, where you will abide. That is great success. The day when the hypocrites, men and women, will say to those who believe. Okay, so as those who believe, men and women, will be moving with their light, the hypocrites will say to those who believe, Unzuruna, look at us, look at us, look at us, look at us, calling your attention. They will call you to look at them, trying to get your attention. Okay, look at us, look at us. Which means it could unzuruna could also mean like help us, give us a chance. Like they want for you to carry them along with the blessings that you have, basically. That we may glean something of your light. That so they want something of the light of the Muslims. They want to participate, okay, in the light of the Muslims. That the Muslims got the blessings. They want to participate to ease their situation. So that we may glean something of your light, it will be said. So it will be said to them, step back. Step back and go and look for light. Go and look for your light, basically. Step back. Then there will be set up between them and the believers a wall. Okay, a wall will be erected between the believing men and women and the hypocrite men and women. A wall. This is said to be the wall of the heights. In Surah 7, verse 46, there's a mention, Surah 7, heights, verse 46. If you go there, you will see the mention about a wall. Right? This is said to be the wall of the heights with a gate. The inner side, the interior of the gate contains mercy. And the outside of the gate, the side of the hypocrites, face towards the chastisement. Okay, for the hypocrisy. I think the different level that they will have, because remember, even though a man is a hypocrite, he might believe in the Tawheed. But nobody who believes in Tawheed will stay forever in the hellfire. And when they ask, and the Muslims, whoever Muslims that went to the hellfire and they come out, they will have a mark on them from being in the hellfire. So Allah will separate the two groups. And inside the wall, there's mercy, and outside of the wall, these people will be there facing the chastisement of the fire. They will call out to them, right? They will call out to them. Did we not used to be with you? You know, of course, like they know, hey, all of you was in the same Jamaat. Hey, all of you was in the same Jamaat. What boy? How you moving so? Hey, you remember me? You know, they'll call out. Did we not used to be with you, as the Quran said? Did not used to be with you? Upon the part of, Jalan said, upon the part of obedience, meaning that, but we were on the part two, we were on the Fisabilillah, we were there. We struggled, you know, we faced everything, you know. It to be said, yes, indeed, for sure. But you cause your souls to fall into temptation. But you cause your soul to fall into temptation by engaging in hypocrisy. And you were waiting until, Jalalain said, you were waiting until the Muslims went under. Okay? Now, when the Muslims were up, they were the Muslims. But because of the hypocrisy, you're waiting for the Muslims to fall. So you try to benefit from both sides. When the Muslim up, you want to be with the Muslims. When the Muslims down, you want to be those who are against the Muslims. You're flipping side to side. And Jalalain said they were awaiting the reversals of fortune for the believers. And most of all, the biggest cause of that is doubt. And you doubted, which means, Jalalain said, you were uncertain about this deen of Islam. Right? You lacked yaqeen. You lack certainty of the deen. And doubt is something that we have to be careful about. And we have to know when it is a doubt that shaitan will use to develop in your mind. For example, Ibrahim alayhi salam, okay, the father of the prophets, he said to Allah, to show him, about life and death. No, about the resurrection, sorry. Allah told him to kill some birds and spread them out. Cut them up in pieces and spread it out. And go away from them and then call them. And you'll see all the birds coming back to you. So Allah demonstrated to him what will happen on the day of resurrection. Okay, whether your body parts scatter all over the place, whether you die in a bomb raid, or whether you die drunk in, wherever it is, you find your body, it will come out. Because the one who made it call it out. So that is Allah asked him if he has doubted. No, he said because he wanted certainty in his heart. Okay, so when you are in that state, you take it to Allah. Allah, show me how to understand this thing. You see, a lot of us, when these things happen, we don't really go to Allah, we go away from Allah. So if you go away from Allah, how you get the answers, the proper answers? And you ask those who know. That's the next thing. Some people are so proud that they don't want to ask those who know. They rather listen to some stranger on the internet who they don't know than somebody who they know. They know everything about the person. Okay? So, and that is what goes on, and Allah say, ask those who don't. If you don't know, ask those who know. And there's a problem with some people. I don't know what it is. Right? And it's not been a scholar. Scholars always ask each other questions. the people who are big scholars, I just ask questions. Or we might disagree on an issue. I might show a point. You might have a point. I mean, just agree to disagree, or you agree to agree. All these different things. It's not asking something is not mean you are ignorant or you don't know, right? We just haven't studied that particular issue as yet. You're not being neglectful, and there's no. The biggest thing in Islam, the biggest stumbling block is people's ego. So you stay away from the doubt because they were uncertain about the religion of Islam, and don't have no issues festering in your brain, so your heart. Ask questions, clear it out. Nothing wrong in asking these questions. Just be careful who you ask it, because some people might use that to belittle you. So you gotta be careful who you're asking, yes. But ask people about various issues that you don't know. And if you are asked something by someone and you don't know, just tell them, look, I don't know, but I'll check it out for you. I'll come back to you. Imam Malik said, half of knowledge is saying I don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. It's better you say that than you misguide people. Okay? And you doubt it. And secondly, false hope. Greedy desires. So number one, you fell into temptation, you become a hypocrite. Because you do not say what you do, you do not do what you say that you're supposed to do. Secondly, you doubt it about the deen. Thirdly, you had false hopes, greedy desires, materialism. And all those things deceive you until Allah's ordinance came, until Allah's judgment came, which is death. And the deceiver, Shaitan, deceive you concerning Allah. And Shaitan can only deceive you because of your weaknesses. Shaitan really has no power over you. He uses you against yourself. And once you understand that, you will know how to check him. Because he uses you. He don't use nobody else like that. He used you. And if you use somebody else, he used somebody else to use you against your own self. It's always you. It comes back to you. Because if you have no doubt, nobody will come and bring no doubt to you. You'll be clarifying the doubt for them. And if you have doubt, you go say, yeah, boy, I never believe in that too, Just as you're saying, but I don't want to tell nobody. And then you have a partner in nonsense. It's a totally innocent, in totally come partners in doubt. Why? Because they don't want to tell nobody because I will look like I don't believe in Islam. But you already have doubts in your heart. And soon you'll be outside the gates of Islam. So never be afraid to ask people. Never be afraid to ask complex questions. Never, never, never. All right? And then Allah said that Shaitan continued deceiving you through your own self until the decision comes. The decision is, death, which means that you have a time to die. You never resolve the issues. You left it there, and then you die. When you die, you can't resolve it again. It's sealed. That's who you are. It's sealed. And then Allah says that when that happens, the deceiver, which is Shaitan, deceive you concerning Allah. Okay? Deceive you concerning Allah. So you have to develop this proper relationship with your God. So on this day, no ransom will be taken from you. Nobody could come and ransom you. Or you can ransom yourself. Nor from those who disbelieve. So on this day, no ransom be taken from you, nor will no any ransom be taken from those who disbelieve. Your abode will be the fire. It will be your guardian, which means you deserve it. And an evil destination it is the end of the road, and it is a evil, dark end of the road. Now, this does not preclude intercession if intercession is not from you or nor from disbelievers. The intercession, if Allah give the prophet intercession, he may use it for who he wants to intercede for. Okay, so when it said that no ransom will be taken from you, you will not be asked for any ransom, nor any ransom from those who believe. This is outside of the prophets having the means of intercession. Okay, this has nothing to do with that. It is not. Sorry, yeah, I mean, stop there. Okay, so let us continue.
ألم يأن للذين آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق ولا يكونوا كالذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبل فطال عليهم الأمد فقست قلوبهم وكثير منهم فاسقون.
Has the time not come for those who have believed that their hearts should become humbly submissive at the remembrance of Allah and what has come down of the truth? And let them not be like those who were given the scripture before, and a long period passed over them, so their hearts hardened, and many of them are defiantly disobedient.
أن الله يحيي الأرض بعد موتها قد بينا لكم الآيات لعلكم تعقلون.
Know that Allah gives life to the earth after its lifelessness. We have made clear to you the signs. Perhaps you will understand.
إن المصدقين والمصدقات وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا يضاعف لهم ولهم أجر كريم.
Indeed, the men who practice charity and the women who practice charity, and they who have loaned Allah a goodly loan, it will be multiplied for them, and they will have a noble reward.
والذين آمنوا بالله ورسله أولئك هم الصديقون والشهداء عند ربهم لهم أجرهم ونورهم والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب الجحيم.
And those who have believed in Allah and His messengers, those are in the ranks of the supporters of truth and the martyrs with their Lord. For them is their reward and their light. But those who have disbelieved and denied our verses, those are the companions of hellfire.
اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان
life of this world is but amusement and diversion, and adornment and boasting to one another, and competition in increase of wealth and children. Like the example of a rain whose resulting plant growth pleases the tillers. Then it dries and you see it turned yellow. Then it becomes scattered debris. And in the hereafter is severe punishment and forgiveness from Allah, and approval. And what is the worldly life except the enjoyment of delusion?
Okay. So Allah is addressing the people and the believers especially. Is it not time for those who believe, okay, the Muslims who believe, as an encouragement for the non-Muslims? This was revealed concerning the matter of the companions of the Prophet, who had been overindulging in jest. You know, they were just going too far with jokes and, you know, playing around with, you know. And then, is it not time for those who believe that their hearts should be humble to the remembrance of Allah? Okay, so you have to balance your enjoyment with your worship. But the Prophet says, Islam, that if you're worshiping so much to the detriment of your health, he said your eyes have a right on you, your limbs have a right on you, your family have a right on you. You know, your wife has a right on you if you are married. Your mother have a right on you. So you can't be involved in worship so much that you forget the rights that you have to fulfill towards these other human beings. No, you are a person that everything is jokes and jest. You know, there's no balance. You know, you're going too far on one side. So the thing is not to go too far to the left and not to go too far to the right. You try and maintain that balance. So it's not time for those who believe that their hearts should be humble. Yeah? Humble is important to the remembrance of Allah and to what has been revealed. You know, be constant in the remembrance of Allah and be constant to the book of Allah, what has been revealed. This is the direction your heart should be in. You know, examining the truth of the Quran. You know, remembrance of the truth which is found in the Quran. You know, you should occupy yourself with that a lot, so that you'll have guidance. And that they should not be like those who were given the scripture before. So this is a warning to the Muslims specifically. Do not be like the people who went before. As the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, that when we as Muslims go astray, we go astray either as a Jew or we go astray as a Christian. As a Jew, you become too legalistic. And as a Christian, you become too spooky and you know, you're saying God is a Trinity and you can't understand that, and or you become a monk, you know, you turn away from life. So anyway, like this, we go astray as those who went before us. We go astray like that. That are the Jews and the Christians. For the stretch of time was too long for them, and their hearts became hardened. Right? Remember, the Jews had a lot of prophets, eh? Not the Jews, Israelites. Jews come from the Israelites. But the Israelites have a long different prophets. And sometimes there was an interval between two prophets. And during that time, people not because they were not seeing any prophet on the scene who admonishing them, warning them to stay on the path, right? So sometimes the hearts, during that interval, the hearts get hard. And it could happen to us. We might live, when we're young, okay, busy with Islam, and then when you get older, and you get older, and you get older, and this thing stretch out, right? It could happen that your heart become hard, because it's how you look at time. Some people get disappointed with the long time, and they haven't seen the success of their work. They haven't seen what they would like to see. And again, shaitan come in and make your hearts get hard. When your hearts at that stretch, the heart should be in the Quran, and your heart should be on dhikr, and your heart should be on pushing the movement forward. Because we are not guaranteed to see the success of this. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to see the success of this, okay, that is a great blessing. But don't live your life that you want to see the success of all the efforts you make. Because shaitan could use that to create doubt and to harden your heart. Boy, me I fed up. Yes, I eat it, and boy, look, boy, so long, Always keep that fire burning. Always keep that fire burning in your heart. Okay? Because that is what will sustain your spirit. Especially when you get older. Right? When you're young, your wife, children, you get a little distracted with all these different kind of things. When it comes down to you, your body big and they go on their way, and you find yourself about what to do. You ain't no children again. You don't see nobody to go to school. You might be retired, And this society, at that point in time, they throw you away. Like if you were worth nothing. And that we should never, I spoke about it last time. As Muslims, we should never do that to our elders. In Africa, they say when an elder dies, it's like a library that has been burned down. Every one of us have experience that could help the generation that is coming. Every one of us. Don't discount yourself. You have something valuable to pass on. You have something valuable to pass on. Your life experience. Because somebody might be fighting up, trying to get the answers for what you already passed through. You passed through that already. And you can watch them and see that they're going through it, and you don't know what will happen there already. You're not a prophet, but you know, based on the patterns of life, what will go. You see that? What will happen there? So I'll say for the stretch of time was too long for them, and the heart became hardened. And many of them are immoral. Then they start to get into all kind of different vices. And they go astray. So shaitan make them occupy themselves with their desires. At that time, you're supposed to get your desires in line, in tune. And by that time, too, you should already know what your desires are. What is your weakness and what is not your weakness. Okay? If you know your blood close to your skin, you are not set a man and woman hugging you up all the time and pulling you, because you're sparking. You see? So you have to know who you are as a person. When you know who you are as a person, you can avoid certain things. You have to be in tune with yourself. And you have to be real to your own self. As the Egyptians wrote on their tombs, Man, know yourself. They wrote that on the tombs that they were buried in, so that when people come to see this dead person in his tomb, or visit his tomb, you will see the sign saying, "Man, know yourself." Meaning, know yourself before you reach this position of death. Know who you are. Become conscious. And the best consciousness is taqwa. And then Allah switched the talk. Allah said, "No, have information." And he's talking to the believers that Allah revives the earth after its death. As I told you, keep it fresh, keep the fire. Allah, go back to Allah, because Allah is the person who can revive your heart. Like your heart becomes like dirt, like stone. So he's using something that happens in creation to teach you something. When Allah revives the earth after its death, that is, Jalalain said, Allah bring forth vegetation and usefulness from the land after the earth was. You may look at the earth and nothing coming, but a time will come when it start to produce and spring things to benefit you and yourselves and your animals. Right? So which means that he's able to restore your heart. And Jalalain said it too. He's able to do with your heart in the same way as he's doing with the earth. See? What did the commentator say here? The same way what he's doing to the earth, he can do to your heart. To restore the humility in your heart, where you don't become arrogant. We have certainly made clear for you the signs that perhaps you may understand. So Allah is transmitting this knowledge by signs. And he has made these signs, these particular signs, very clear for you to catch the understanding of it. And these signs testify, according to the commentator here, that these signs testify to Allah's power. Okay, as he has mentioned, he give life to the earth, and he do this and he do that. All these things is directed towards you, for you to understand different stages that you might be in as a human being. And he use the creation around you for you to look at it and then take meaning from it for your own self as a human being and for your community, and for your family. But firstly, it is for yourself, self-development, self-consciousness. Very important. That perhaps you may understand. So Allah do these things, not just for talking sake, but to help bring understanding to your brains, to your heart. Indeed, men who give alms, musaddikun, or musaddikun, musaddikun, or musaddikun, or musaddikun. Could be 2 S with 1 S, right? That is people who give voluntary alms. This is not compulsory alms like zakat is compulsory. This is voluntary alms. You're getting a little sadaqah. Okay? And women who give solitary alms. And those of them who have lent Allah a goodly loan. Okay? So you're given categories. You said, indeed, the men who give voluntary alms and the women who give voluntary alms. Right? And those of them who are, they give voluntary alms, but they also spend in the way of Allah. And it is called giving Allah a goodly loan. Okay? Refer back to remember we talk about the goodly loan, right? It will be multiplied for them. and they will have a generous reward. So I'll just remind you, because we came across this before, right? So I'll say it again, right? Sometimes I'll repeat these things for clarity and to assure you, like when you're checking somebody, yeah, let me the money now go pay you back. Don't worry, now go pay you back, Don't worry yourself. Right? So I'll repeat it again. Don't worry. He will pay you back. Okay, he will pay you back your goodly loan that you give to him. Which means you spend any part of God. So basically, to me, I see it like Allah is trying to what is called, to give you some assurance. Okay? So let us continue.
سابقوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها كعرض السماء والأرض أعدت للذين آمنوا بالله ورسله ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم.
Let me stop there because I did mention 2 ayats, 20, 19 and 20. I forgot to mention, I didn't give no commentary on it. And those who believe in Allah and His messengers, they are the truthful ones. Okay? Now, this Siddiqeen, the truthful ones, is a rank in Islam. And that is why Abu Bakr was called Siddiq. It's like a rank in Islam. The truthful ones. Okay? Not only they speak the truth, but they stand for the truth and they recognize the truth and they support the truth. Okay? They don't stand by nonsense. The Siddiqeen. And the witnesses with their Lord. They are truthful and they are the witnesses with their Lord against all those who deny. Okay? So the Siddiqeen, he is also a witness because he sees things and he stands for justice and right and righteousness. So he comes like a witness in the community to make sure that people go right and justice is established. That is the duty of a Siddiqeen within society. And sometimes a Siddiqeen might himself know he's a Siddiqeen. Because we know in communities there are people who stand for justice. Okay, and stand for some things being right and being fair to everybody. And to avoid oppressing anybody.
Hold on,
so their witness did that. Huh?
No, you're reading that there as though the Siddiqis, but the Quran make it as it's translating it as though it's in their Lord's eye they are the truthful and the martyrs. It read and those who believe in Allah and His messengers, they are the truthful and the martyrs in the eye of their Lord.
Okay. Now the reason they put martyrs is because the word Shaheed could be 2 things. Shaheed could be a witness, like in a case, or Shaheed could be a martyr. Okay? So that's why I use both meanings. Okay, because it's possible it can mean both, because he said they are the truthful and the martyrs. Right? Because the martyrs have their blood shed for what? For supporting the truth. When you support the truth and you stand for justice, you could get killed,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but what you're saying is that they are not the witnesses then in this case is Allah is the witness. This is how it read in here.
This is no.
That the Lord witnesses, they are the truthful ones witnessed by him then. That's how I translate this here.
Yeah, because he recognized them as shaheed. Because he say, and the witnesses with their Lord, which means that Allah Himself has witnessed what they did. Okay, either they stand for the truth and they stand up for the truth, or there are people who die for the truth. So
Okay.
they become a witness. You understand? But it is with the best thing is that if you could translate with their Lord, means under the eyes of their Lord, or in the eyes of their Lord. That is how He sees them. Okay, all that is possible in the translate. All that is possible. Because I tell you, the Quran is wide, so it's not no rigid. It is wide. It could mean that too. That they are truthful and they are witnesses. But in Allah's sight, He recognizes them also as truthful and witness. And He now see what happens to them, and He's aware what happens to them. And in the eyes could also mean He's pleased with them. You see, because to stand up for the truth, most time you could get killed. To tell people that, you're going wrong, you could get killed, It happens in life. You see what happened to Malcolm X? I mean, he wasn't cursing anybody. He was talking the truth. He was witnessing to the truth and trying to bring people out of darkness into light, and he died for it. So he was a Siddiqeen, and he also became a witness by his speaking, and he also became a witness by his death. But all of that is under the eyes of the Lord, as the guy translated here. So all of that is possible. They will have their reward and their light. But those who disbelieve and deny our signs, all the signs that call you to the truth, all the signs that Allah established, that it has no effect on you. All right? And deny our signs, they will be the inhabitants of the hell. So Allah say, and know, have knowledge, that the life of this world is but play, amusement, diversions, and glitter. It's just a ornament, things that you enjoy for a time. This is not forever. Don't get too attached. Enjoy it. Enjoy your car, enjoy your wife. You have a nice wife, you have a nice car, you have good children. Enjoy all of that, but don't control it. Don't let that control you. Where you cannot make no sacrifice. You can't. You want to give a sister some zakat, but you're studying if your wife go think you want to marry she. And your wife stopping you from getting that person zakat. I mean sadaqah. So you have all these different things, oh yeah, I can't help with that now. I have to pay. If I do that, I got to go and get extra to find something for my children, and But all these things are the tests on the part, And you just do it with balance. You cannot leave out your children in that sense, and you should not leave out the work too. So you got to find some balance in it. Right? Because this world is just play, diversions, right? And amusement and glitter. And mutual and like you competing with each other in respect of wealth and children. That competition that goes on, in wealth and children. It happens between people in communities. So, what I say is that do not be, Jalan said, that is preoccupation with such things. But as for acts of obedience and the incentives that comes with it, These are the concerns of the hereafter. Right? You say that, you indulge in it, but don't get too preoccupied. Don't let it control you. It's called zuhud. Zuhud means like you live in the world, you enjoy the world and everything, but you master the world. The world is not your master. You are the master. You are the master of your world. Your world don't master you. With respect to wealth and children, as the likeness of rain, that is to say, in the manner in which you admire it and the manner in which it will disappear. Okay, when I say that, as the likeness of rain, whose vegetation. So Allah is showing you that the life of this world is like rain, whose vegetation. When the rain comes and the vegetation comes out, and you admire it, you admire the crops and everything, right? So that's what about. It's something for you, and you admire it, and you praise Allah about it. The disbelievers admire it also, and then it withers. Then it goes away. You lose it. Allah say will test you with what? Loss of life, loss of wealth. You will lose. Sometimes it goes away. It goes. And then just like a plant, it turns yellow and it becomes like dust scattered, vanishing with the winds. So what Allah is saying is that this is how the world is. Like when the rain fall and it have the nice crops, you admire it, and then you reap it, and then some of them might just wither away, and the wind take it, and it what is basically saying, it is not permanent. It is not permanent, and we should recognize that permanent things that are not permanent should not master you. Because your strive is for what is permanent, which is the hereafter. And that's why Allah say now, and in the hereafter, there's a severe chastisement. And Jalalain said, he means for those who prefer the world, to obedience to Allah. That's why I say we do not let the world control us. We control it. Okay? We control it. And the life and forgiveness, it is a severe chastisement for those who prefer this world, and forgiveness from Allah and good tidings for those who have not preferred this world. And the life of this world is but a comfort of delusion. You take it as a comfort, but do not. It has a tendency to delude people. So take a comfort from it, but avoid being deluded by it. Recognize it for what it is. It's like a good fruit and it can spoil. It's like a good crop and it could go away. Because it is for a time. So, what is the way forward? And strive, race with one another for forgiveness from your Lord, and a garden, the breadth of it, which is as the breadth of the heavens and the earth. The garden we talking about, this garden we talk about time, it's so big, the breadth of it is the breadth of the heavens and the earth. That's how big this garden is. Right? Now, we don't know how big the heaven is, but we know how big the earth is. Right? So, your garden and the garden where you'll be and other gardens will be like this earth along with the heavens. That's how big it is. Prepared for those who believe in Allah and His Messenger. That is the bounty of Allah, which He gives to whomever He wills. And Allah is the dispenser of tremendous bounty. He gives tremendous bounty. Just imagine He gives you a garden, and that is one garden. And let's say you've been gardens, plural. Look how wide this garden is. Look how big this garden is. You know? And you're sitting inside here. I mean, you can't see the end, you can't see the boundaries of it. And this is what Allah has prepared. So, what Allah is telling you here to know? If you compare the life of this earth and the comforts and the joy that you get in this earth, which is not permanent, and because it's not permanent and you get caught up and you trade that for a garden as wide as the heavens and the earth. Right? Not heaven, sorry. Heaven, one. And the earth. Right? So could you imagine that? You know, so while I say that the what is expected in the after, the promise of your Lord, that is what you should be about. Because when you compare, remember when you compare the two, you know, it's like chalk and cheese. And what's dangerous about this too is that on the day of judgment, all the care you had for your husband and looking for your wife and your children, they will pass you straight on the day of judgment. Darling, who's you? Who's you? She had no time with you, and he had no time with you. Babes, he had no time with you. Even your child had no time with you. And we should think about that. And they will come where they will pass you straight. All they'll be concerned is standing before Allah and getting the pleasure of Allah and the good judgment. Enter the gardens. When you enter the gardens and you relax, you're looking to see how much of them make it with you. Then you indulge with them. You know, no, this is not being hard on your family. But just that you have to remember all these things are tests for you. Another part of the Quran, Allah said, save yourself and your family from the fire. So you have to guide your people. Male or female, wife and husband, they have to guide those who they are responsible for. Try your best. Don't give up, because the dua of the mothers, especially, okay, is answered. So the parents will always be praying for the children, no matter what. It don't mean they approve. Praying for them don't mean you approve of what they do. Okay, but praying for them is asking Allah to have mercy on them. And fulfilling your role as a parent. You'll always be concerned about your child. Being concerned about your child is not encouragement. Like Trinidad, I don't think, like, if you have a child who, you know, might go astray and do things bad, Trinidad, and say, mommy good boy. It's not a matter of mommy good boy. A mother will always have that love for her child. It don't mean that she's pleased what she supports, right? What he's doing. Although some parents do it, but generally, it's a natural instinct in the woman. And as a Muslim woman, it is there for you, but you put it into prayer because you're looking at a bigger picture for him and for yourself. Okay, you want him to avoid the fire. And you don't want your weakness as a woman for him being your son, or weakness for your son as a father. You know, that you fail to correct him or correct her. Okay? Because you want to be partners with your children. And that's something that has happened. You know, we want to be partners with your children. The children want to be your partner. Yes, you could be a partner, but it have limits. It still have limits and boundaries that you have to keep. But when you're ready to tell them off, you must have the strength to do so. Because if it's a partner thing, then it's difficult for you to correct them. Oh, mommy, okay, go ahead now. Oh, daddy, we make again and so forth. Okay, go ahead. And not knowing that whatever nonsense they do will come back to you because you allow them. So don't think you're getting way, though. You getting hit, boodum. Okay, you getting hit. So we stop here, inshallah. Next class, I don't know if anybody did any research on the Uthman. Anybody did anything?
Yeah, look it up. So something. Oh, yeah, assassination because of how he, was dealing with the people. They didn't approve of his. They questioned his role and the Islam, the practices and everything too after his death.
Yeah, because he was. They say he was. They say he was weak. Now that what they say, but he was just a person who was very kind and and to people and stuff like that.
I can't hear what you say.
Huh? I ain't what you say. Anissa, is she gone?
I think I have one her connection on her end having
What she
a
said
lot of
just now.
difficulty.
You heard what she said?
She said she wasn't hearing you.
Oh, okay. Well, next class we'll deal with it, right? Those who didn't do it, try and do it now. You can look at it. And this will help you in navigating leadership. Okay? You look at the lives of the leaders that went before us. Okay, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Rabbana taqabbal minna. Innaka anta sami'ul alim.